G'day YouTube, and welcome to this video where we're going to have a look at another early access title. This time it's Medieval Engineers. Now Medieval Engineers is created by Keen Software House, who are the same guys who are doing Space Engineers, which has been in development for quite a significant period of time, but does have quite a lot of features having said that. So let's look at what's available as of the 26th of March. We've got a couple options here: New World, Load World. There's Steam Workshop support for mods, which is really cool. So we can choose to quick start or go into custom world. And there's two versions. There's creative, where you have unlimited block placements and you can fly and you're invulnerable. And then there's survival, which at the moment the only difference is that you can die and that you can't fly. So there will probably be more changes coming in though later in the game. So let's just do creative at the moment so we can have a look at things really nicely with the flying ability. We've got structural integrity, which is one of the cool things about medieval engineers, is that when you build buildings you need to design them so they actually stay up. We have barbarians that we can turn on, which really are just bots who will try and kill certain statues in the game. We don't really need them on for this. Autosaves, you can set the number of maximum pieces in the world that buildings will fracture into. The higher you do it, obviously the more performance hit you're going to take. Has day and night cycle. So we'll just choose... We'll go for the large terrain. Now the game does take quite a while to load, so we'll just do a little jump to when it's actually loaded. Okay, so here we are loaded into the game, and we started out on a forest on a hillside. I'll just kick in flying mode with you push X, and then spacebar allows us to fly upwards. So the map is it's big, but it's not massive for a large one. Hopefully we'll see some bigger maps coming, especially if we're going to do multiplayer. There are some weird things that are shown up in the last patch, these sort of columns of stone. They weren't actually there before, so I'm not actually sure what they are, but yeah, they weren't showing up before, so it's probably just a glitch that they're in this patch. So let's try build something. We can see down the bottom we have a taskbar, and anyone who's played Space Engineers, it works exactly the same way that building does there. Just kick off flying. So we have 4 different taskbars that we can cycle through. For each taskbar, if we push the G button, it opens up here all of the blocks that are currently available in the game, and there's some tools, some bots, there's our barbarians and peasants if you want to put them in, and terrain shaping tools. So let's start by just building some basic blocks. There's number 1. So you can see there, it's a bit like Minecraft, they're a square block, but what's quite cool is that when you build them, they will fuse together automatically. So see here, there's this edge to the block. Build another one there, and the edging is now shifted to the end. And say we want to build a window, it then goes and actually creates a seamless wall with the window in it. So it's quite neat the way that it works. As I mentioned, one of the big things in the game is structural integrity, and if we push the N key, it turns on structural integrity view, which looks like this. So we can actually see that there's not really a lot of strain going on here. There's a little bit of stress on that block, but not much. If we were, however, to fly up a little bit, and we'll build a little tower, we can see the colours here starting to go yellow. So this is definitely starting to strain our blocks there. And it's interesting, you can see the weakest point is actually right there where it goes down to one block. And if we reinforce that, we can see the strain actually gets spread out a bit more. Okay, so we'll turn structural view off. So what happens when things collapse? Well, this is one of the coolest things of the whole game. Let's pick up a large projectile and see what happens if we throw a large projectile at the base of this tower. So basically it shattered and then collapsed, and the top part had enough structural integrity to actually handle falling over one piece, but as soon as it hit the ground, the impact there just completely shattered it. So as I mentioned, what this means is that when you build things, you really have to think about the structural integrity and the supports of what you're going to build. And while solid stone blocks might, you might think that they're the most ideal, most stable block to use. They actually, because they weigh so much, they don't actually work that well for using them heaps and structures. Instead, what you sort of find you have to do is to build a framework of these solid blocks, and then sort of flesh it out with better, lighter walls, for instance. So if I make this little area there, I'll put a little doorway there, put a couple of windows. So yeah, nice little keep that we're making, and we can put a staircase in. Let's put a stone staircase right in the middle. Now, one of the cool things that Medieval Engineers does have is this ability to toggle whether things overlap into other blocks or not. So in this case we've got options to have a wall by itself, in which case we could rotate it around and put it there, or we could actually put the wall inside the same area as the staircase, and the program actually fuses the two of them together, which is really cool. So let's cheat a little bit here and fly up. So it does take a little bit of getting used to in terms of placing the blocks, and for instance, this one here doesn't, if you have the overlap off, it will go above, but if you put the overlap on, it will go in there. whereas then to do some other ones you'll need to turn the overlap off to make it work, because you don't want it going down to the next level down, you want it sitting on top of the next brick. So it works, it's just a little fiddly, and you get the hang of how it works. Oops, didn't mean to put that in there. So let's have a look at our little keep looking structurally. It's not bad, it's going yellow on the bottom, so we need to be careful, but it's looking reasonably good. If we go down inside, see the base of this tower is also yellow, which is not great, but oh, and that needs to be a doorway rather than a window. So now we should actually be able to walk through. And as you can see, night's falling, so we can plant some torches as well. We seem to have lost our front doorway. There we go. So you can see there now we've got some light. It does get very dark in the night. So I think when we see multiplayer, if we get people sieging each other's castles, we're going to see quite a few nighttime raids. And we need a way to try and sort of get up onto the walls up here, so we could add some stairs. So what we can do is come around the back here. Which is not going to work for us because we can't then walk around, we haven't got enough space. I think we're going to have to go with another. And that's another thing that comes into this game, is trying to figure out how to actually fit things in. There there can be quite a lot of design elements that you don't really sort of think about. Like, see, if I want to build some stairs and have a platform at the top of them, I need to have space further out, so I actually need this space here to be able to climb on the stairs. So we're going to have to come in here, and then we can put some floor down. See, even that's not going to actually do what I wanted it to do. It's not going to get us all the way up here. Alright, just going to make the best of a tricky situation, I guess. Just have to jump. And then we can add some ramparts. There's two types. There's ones where the stone rampart will go in the middle of the block, and one will go on the edge. So you want the edging one. We can add some up here as well. There we go. Okay. A little keep, reasonably structurally sound. So let's throw some medium cannonballs at it and see what happens. Yeah, this is sort of the whole fun part, is actually just building stuff and blowing it up, really. So you can see the first hit took a chunk out of that wall there, but it's still holding up. And these are only the little size cannonballs, these aren't the projectiles, they're not the big size. If we whack it up to the larger trebuchet size, you can see the difference there in damage. And if we have a look inside, you can see you've got debris and stuff that's shattering and coming through here, and the wood's breaking off. It's really quite cool, the damage modelling that they're sort of doing. There's a bit of floor that's broken off and fallen through there. So see, this little square design where it's these four pillars is actually quite strong, because even though I'm blowing out all of these walls, just decimating it, it's only now that it's actually starting to get structurally worried. If I go and take out this other corner here though, this will probably make a big difference. There we go. You can see it's starting to get pretty damaged down there. You can see then that even though I hit the middle, there was unrelated impact, like, you know, from the stress that were falling off on the other side. And look at our middle tower there, it's hardly scratched. And you can see the corner of that block where it's made that hard corner is just really structurally hanging in there when everything else is falling apart. And there we go, we can take it out. And it's still standing. So there we can see it's that center tower pretty much holding up everything else. There's the one support here, we'll get rid of that. Oh, there we go. Physics is catching up with it. We've got a bit of a glitch here though, this tower here. It seems to think there's still a block underneath it somewhere. Haven't seen that before. That's definitely buggy. Definitely doesn't normally do that. Yeah, maybe there's the offending. Oh. Split our projectile straighten to bits. Oh, there we go. Yep, you're supposed to fall down. Can't quite get through the doorway anymore because of all the debris. We do have some tools that they've just added that we can use. Oh, mind your step. Can't quite get up there, I'll have to fly. So yeah, that's Medieval Engineers. If there's anything else you'd like to know about the game, or anything you'd like me to see to demonstrate, then leave me a comment or subscribe and I might do some more videos if it's something you guys are interested in as it develops. As I mentioned, they've started introducing a basic AI system. There is say the barbarians, and there's also the peasants. We pop down a king statue. It's very Lord of the Ringsy. And we pop down a barbarian. There he goes. Yep. He's caught on the grass, it looks like. There's our peasants. They're just going to stand there and not do anything because they, at the moment, they pick up stone, but they actually levitate it, like sort of with their minds. It's quite bizarre. They haven't obviously got a carrying animation in yet, but I'm sure it'll come. Yeah, and the ragdoll physics and stuff are obviously still in work still. Not sure where he's going. He makes good target practice though. Whoops, sorry. What else does a king do except go bowling with his peasants? Alright, well that's all from me today. As I said before, leave me a comment if there's anything you'd like to know about the game, or anything that you particularly liked about the video, and if you subscribe and let me know you want to see more, then I'll film some more. Catch you guys later.